Okay, what is up, traders? Super excited for today's video. Gonna give you guys a viewer request update. This one is on ALBT. All right, this is Alliance Block. We're looking at the daily chart. We're gonna break down the recent price action. We're gonna break down this pattern, the bullish divergence, all of the signals that we had to buy possibly to catch this nice rally and move up. And then we're gonna go over the retracement right here, the fib retracement levels, why these are some very strong support levels, and why we could see a bounce here potentially soon. Now, none of this video is meant to be financial advice. It is meant to be very informational and educational. Okay, so like I said, we're going to break down the recent chart, the current price action, and see why it's doing what it's doing. And then I'm actually going to break down the entire chart for you guys, the whole history of the chart. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned to the end of the video so you can learn everything we truly have to look at. Okay. So right here, what we're looking at is this is known as a wedge pattern, okay? It's known as the falling wedge or the descending wedge. And what you're going to see is it's indicated by this trend line on the top here and this trend line on the bottom. Now, this is a bullish pattern. And, you're looking for a breakout essentially above this trend line here, right? So we got a very nice breakout, pullback, and move upwards. Notice how, it never goes up in a straight line. It retraces, all right, which is why these levels are going to be very important. We'll get to those in a second. But not only did we have this bullish pattern here, we had a bullish divergence. Okay, so if you look at what I'm drawing on the screen, we have a low here and a lower low here. We have a low here and a higher low right here. Okay, so when the price action of the token is going down, but the relative strength is going up, because that's what we're looking at over here, the relative strength index. Which obviously measures the strength of a token at its current price. So if something is going down, but the strength is going up, that's an indicator known as bullish divergence. And it's something that traders look at to indicate some possible, future bullish activity. Now, we did get a very nice move to the upside off of those two combined things, right? So once you start to combine signals, right, and you have a chart pattern along with a divergence, it can give you much more confidence in your play, seeing that you have, okay, well, not only do I have a bullish chart pattern, there's a bullish divergence. That's going to help give you an edge. All right. You need an edge when trading and investing. It's like going to battle. Okay. It's like going to war. You got to have the right weapons. And you got to be prepared. Okay. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. So it's time to start doing these things and learning these things. And this video is going to show you and help you out really simply. Now, over here, we're using the fibs. Okay. So if you just use this tool right here, all right, and you take your swing low to your swing high. All right, so we're taking this most recent low right here up to this most recent high. And what we're doing is we're looking for it to retrace. And this is going to give us valid price levels where, the token is going to retrace to and possibly find support. Now, I have only the 38.2, the 50%, and the 61.8% up because those are some of the three most common and most looked at retracement levels. Okay. About 70% of all trading is done by algos, whether you believe it or not. So it's time to start thinking like an algo and using some math formulas to get your, support and resistance levels rather than just drawing them with the naked eye, right? We could draw some stuff with the naked eye. We could draw, a little level right here, and we could say, oh, well, that was a pretty nice support level, old resistance. But this is very helpful to use the fibs, right? So we're going to see if it comes down and approaches this 61.8%. This is the golden ratio, 61.8. That's right at 0.061. Okay. So we did break our 50% retracement level. It was a pretty strong support level for a while and just really consolidating there, but we got the breakdown, right? If we break 0.061, most likely we're going to head back lower. But if we hold these levels as support, all right, we're going to push back up higher. All right. And this is just going to be a healthy retracement from the move down. Okay. So that's basically it for the current update. We're going to break down the entire chart now. Okay, we'll go over here and zoom back out into the past. So that way we can really break down the chart and everything that it's got for us. Okay, so right here, initially what we're looking at is going to be a pattern known as a pennant. All right, so this isn't a descending wedge or a falling wedge. This is much more of a neutral pattern. And we're zigzagging through this area, and you either look for a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. Now, obviously, we got a breakout to the upside on this one, and we also formed a very nice bull flag. Okay, so this is one way you can draw a bull flag. And you have your flagpole. Here's your flag, and once you break the trend line on the top, all right, you can look for a move to the upside. Now we got a very impressive move to the upside after that bull flag breakout, and we started to give some really, really good signals that possibly it was time to exit, right? We talked about earlier when you can start to combine signals and indicators together, it's really going to help give you an edge. So notice how we have a high here, okay? We have a higher high over here, and then another higher high right here. Let's look at the relative strength index and see what the strength of this token is. Well, we had our initial high right here, and even though we went higher and created two higher highs, we actually created lower highs on the relative strength index, meaning that the strength of this token was weakening and weakening as the price actually progressed up higher. Okay. And on top of that, we ended up forming a head and shoulders pattern. So we'll go ahead and look at that real quick and break it down for you. But you have your left shoulder right here, you have your head, you have your right shoulder. In perfect world scenario, you're going to see it come and play out to where the pattern began. And we got that very nicely here. And shortly after that, okay, we ended up forming bullish divergence, which was a nice indicator we were going to get a pretty good pop. Okay. And again, it's all lower lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher highs. Okay. So we have a low here, we have a higher low here, we have a low here, lower low here. Clearly the price is dropping and in a downtrend, but the strength of this token is actually increasing. That led to a pretty nice pop. All right. And we can take a look from those lows to that highs. That was over 100% move. If we look at the bearish divergence combined with the head and shoulders, right, that was a nice drop of about 50%. If you take it down to these lows, that was a 59% drop. So these are big moves being made in both directions using the same strategy of divergence and then also just looking to see if we can find any chart patterns, right? Now over here, what we have is bear flags, and we're just seeing this thing bear flag and bear flag over and over again. So this is another way to draw the flag pattern, right? You have your big flag pole here, and then lots of times the flag itself is just going to be a channel, right? So it's either going to be a bullish or a bearish channel. And once you break that channel to the downside right here, you're going to get a sharp move to the downside. And that's essentially a sell signal right now, whether you want to short something or whether you just want to take some profit or protect the trade. This is really helpful pattern, and it's one of the most common ones that you can find, right? I really try to chart up just simple patterns, wedges, pennants, flags, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, so that you guys can see that they really are common and they do appear in every single chart that you look at. Okay. And we just see it bear flag, right? And we get another bear flag over here. All right, boom, here's our flagpole, here's our flag itself. We break the bottom trend line, sharp move to the downside. And over here, this is another pattern that we can look at. This is the rising wedge, right? So not the falling wedge, that's a bullish pattern, but the rising wedge is actually a bearish pattern. Once we break that trend line to the bottom, you're going to see it play out in a perfect world scenario to where the move began. And we see that was a very sharp drop. All right, if we take a look here, at the percentages, right, that was over a 45% drop, even though it doesn't look like it, right? It looks like that pattern is really small, and we had to zoom in on it, but it led to a 45% drop. And the token ended up dropping much more after that, down 65% and more. If we take a look at some of the other things that we're looking at here, we actually started to develop bullish divergence. Like part of the reason that we got this pop, you see how we're a little bit more current, right? And we're looking at the current patterns. We actually started this bullish divergence right over here. So here was our initial lower low, and then here's a lower low right here. We can see we have low, higher low, right? So not only did we have this shorter bullish divergence combined with the bullish falling wedge pattern, but over a longer period of time, it's really been building this bullish divergence, over a nice course of time. And that really helped out the explosive move to the upside. And again, we're just looking to see if we can retrace and continue heading higher. If we break that 0.06 level, then most likely we're going to come back down and possibly retest some of the most recent lows. So that's it for the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new so you can get videos like this every single week. I'll be dropping multiple videos. I do viewer requests all the time as well. So make sure to let me know in the comments down below what cryptocurrency, what stock, even a strategy or tutorial you would like me to make. I'll be happy to do that for you as soon as I can. And smash the like button. Last thing, if you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like one of these next two videos as well.